If humans wanted to create a brand new pet today, what would we choose? A raccoon with tiny hands? A fox that acts like a cat-dog hybrid? A capybara that seems emotionally ready to join any family group on Earth? Or maybe something much stranger, like a crow, an octopus, or a miniature deer walking around the living room like it pays rent? It sounds simple. Humans have domesticated animals before. We turned wolves into dogs, wildcats into house cats, wild cattle into cows, wild boar into pigs, and wild jungle fowl into chickens. So why not just do it again? Why not choose a new animal, breed it for a few generations, make it calmer, friendlier, cuter, and suddenly create the next dog? The answer is more complicated than people think. Because domestication is not the same as taming. A tame animal is one wild animal that has learned to tolerate humans. A domesticated animal is different. It is a species that has been changed across generations, shaped by breeding, human environments, and survival near us. A tiger raised by humans may be tame for a while, but it is not domesticated. A wolf can be hand-raised, but that does not make it a dog. True domestication does not just change behavior. It changes the animal's body, brain, instincts, reproduction, stress response, and relationship with humans, and that takes time. A lot of time. But here is the interesting part. Humans probably could domesticate a new animal today. The harder question is whether any animal would be worth the effort. Because domestication only works when both sides get something out of the deal. Dogs became useful because they could help humans hunt, guard, track, warn, and survive. Cats became useful because they hunted the rodents that followed human grain stores. Cattle, goats, sheep, chickens, pigs, horses, donkeys, camels, and reindeer all gave humans something valuable: food, labor, transport, wool, milk, eggs, protection, or status. Domestication was not just humans collecting animals because they were cute. It was a survival contract. The animal gained food, shelter, protection, or access to human environments. Humans gained something useful. But today, that survival pressure is mostly gone. We do not need a new animal to guard a cave while we sleep. We do not need a raccoon to help us survive winter. We do not need a fox to track deer through the snow. We already have dogs, cats, livestock, machines, alarms, tractors, cars, supermarkets, and central heating. So the first problem is not biology. It is motivation. Why would humans spend hundreds or thousands of years domesticating a new animal when we already have animals that fill most of the roles? Still, some animals seem like candidates. Foxes are one of the most famous examples. In a long-running breeding experiment, silver foxes were selected for friendliness toward humans. Over generations, the friendliest foxes became calmer, more social, and even started showing dog-like traits such as wagging tails, floppy ears, and changes in coat color. That experiment showed something fascinating. If you strongly select for friendliness, you may also change the animal's appearance and emotional behavior. In other words, domestication can reshape an animal surprisingly quickly if humans control the breeding. But even friendly foxes are not just dogs with pointier faces. They have different instincts, different smells, different needs, different energy, different behavior. They may be charming, but that does not automatically make them easy house pets. And that reveals the second problem. A good domesticated animal needs more than cuteness. It needs the right personality as a species. It should breed reasonably well around humans. It should not panic constantly. It should not be too aggressive. It should be able to live in groups or tolerate social life. It should grow at a practical rate. It should eat food humans can provide. It should not require an impossible amount of space. And ideally, it should not destroy everything nearby the moment it becomes bored. This is why some animals are terrible candidates. Zebras look like horses, but they are much harder to domesticate. They can be aggressive, nervous, and difficult to control. Humans have trained individual zebras, but the species never became another horse. Elephants can be trained and used by humans, but they are not truly domesticated in the same way as cattle or dogs. They grow slowly, reproduce slowly, and require huge amounts of care and space. Octopuses are intelligent, but they are not good candidates for domestication as companions. They are short-lived, solitary, aquatic, escape-obsessed, and so smart that keeping them would basically mean trying to outthink a wet alien with 8 arms. Crows are intelligent too. They recognize faces, solve problems, and learn quickly. But intelligence alone does not make an animal easy to domesticate. A crow might understand your household. It might also use that understanding to ruin your life with precision. So what animal could humans domesticate next? The best candidate would probably be an animal that is already halfway there. Something that lives near humans. Something social enough to tolerate us. Something adaptable. Something that can breed in captivity. Something with a temperament that can be shaped over generations. Foxes are one possibility, but they come with challenges. Rats are another interesting case. Many rats are already bred in captivity and can be social, intelligent, and affectionate. In some ways, fancy rats are already close to being domesticated companions. Certain birds could also move further in that direction, especially species that already live closely with humans and show strong social intelligence. But birds have different needs, long lifespans in some cases, and complex behavior that makes them harder than they look. Some people might suggest capybaras, because they seem calm, social, and friendly. But being chill in videos is not the same as being practical as a domesticated household animal. Capybaras need space, water, social groups, and specific care. They are not just oversized guinea pigs designed for apartment life. The real answer may be disappointing. The next domesticated animal probably would not appear suddenly as a dramatic new species in every home. It would likely come from animals humans are already breeding, already keeping, and already shaping. A new kind of fox, a more companion-like rat, a bird bred for calmer social living, or an animal used in farming, therapy, pest control, or research that slowly becomes more adapted to humans over time. But even then, there is a deeper question. Should humans domesticate a new animal today? Ancient domestication happened because humans were trying to survive. Modern domestication would often happen because humans want novelty, companionship, profit, or control. That changes the ethics. If we create a new domesticated animal, we are not just making a cute species. We are reshaping generations of living creatures for human purposes. We are deciding which behaviors survive, which instincts disappear, and what kind of life that animal will have beside us. Domestication is powerful, but it is not harmless. Dogs gained a place beside humans, but they also became dependent on us. Chickens became one of the most successful birds on Earth by number, but many live short, controlled lives. Cattle, pigs, sheep, and goats became central to human civilization, but their survival is tied completely to human use. So if humans domesticate another animal, the question should not only be, can we? It should be, what life are we creating for it? And maybe that is why true new domestication is rare today. Not because humans lack the ability, but because domestication is no longer just about survival, it is about responsibility. Could humans domesticate a new animal today? Yes, probably. With enough time, selective breeding, technology, patience, and control, humans could shape certain species into calmer, more human-friendly versions of themselves. But it would not be quick. It would not work with every animal. And it would not be as simple as choosing the cutest creature and deciding it should live on our sofa. The animal would need the right biology, the right social instincts, the right ability to live around humans, and the right reason for humans to keep breeding it across generations. That is the strange thing about domestication. Humans like to think we are the ones choosing the animals. But in a way, the animals have to choose us too. The wolf came close to the fire. The wildcat followed the mice. The animals that became part of human life were not random. They were species that could survive in the strange world humans were building. So the next domesticated animal may not be the one humans want most. It may be the one already watching us from the edge of our world, waiting for an opportunity, just like wolves once did. And if it ever happens again, it will not begin with a collar, a name, or a cute video online. It will begin the old